What's up, Sooner Nation? Happy Sunday evening to all you guys at Sooner Nation. Make sure you're a part of what's going on here at the Sooner Surge. Click subscribe, turn on your notifications, like and comment. A good day so far for the Sooners in the NFL, guys. Right now, Ramondre Stevenson is playing for the New England Patriots tonight against the Dolphins, but Sooners had themselves a great day here on Sunday in the NFL. So I'll start with Baker Mayfield, guys. I think you have to start there, former Sooners, because what he's done in 2 weeks with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I know this is going to be a wild statement. They're forgetting about Tom Brady a little easier in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield is back. Yeah, just watching him play today, that is the Baker Mayfield we saw at OU. That is the Baker Mayfield we saw when he was successful in Cleveland. That is the Baker Mayfield we saw for a few weeks last year in Los Angeles when he had that kind of just wild stretch, including that Christmas Day game last year. Very efficient, throwing the ball very, very well. He's slinging it. The past 2 weeks, he's woke up feeling dangerous. I mean, I know he hasn't said that flat out. This week, he was kind of the topic of the Pat McAfee show for his ability to figure out the Vikings play calls while playing a game. That's unheard of. That's starting quarterbacks usually do not do that because they have too much on their mind trying to just read the defense on their own. And the fact that he's able to pick up on the play calls and know the coverages assigned to that is impressive. He had that historic quote that he's a Rangers fan, not an Astros fan, following that. And then today, it's just like he took a hit going out of bounds, and he got up and he was Baker Mayfield. He was talking his trash. Last week, same thing, talking his trash. I mean, it drew a 15-yard penalty this week and put them in position to score, and I believe they got a touchdown on that drive. It's nice to see he's on kind of that prove-it contract this year. He only has a one-year deal with Tampa Bay, and this is one of his last chances to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he's making the most of it right now.
Yeah, and Baker, the thing about Baker is he's changed venues, scenery a couple times, I guess you could say now, but the one thing that remains the same is Baker Mayfield's always been Baker Mayfield with his attitude and his personality. Let's just face facts. He's been injured.
Well,
he's been injured and hasn't been the same until he's been fully healthy.
Well, and also NFL is a totally different ball game because you're so dependent on what organization you end up with. And if you're in a bad organization, it's hard to succeed. That's just the truth of the matter. You're not picking your school like you are in college, right? But I love Baker Mayfield after the game today talking about Mike Evans. Best number 13 he's ever played with. A little slam at Odell Beckham, right?
I don't think it was necessarily slam. I think it was more.
He knows what number Beckham wore.
Give the media a headline following that game. Mike Evans was great. Mike Evans has had a lot of great games for Tampa Bay, and today was another one. The catches he was making, and then yards after the catch as well today was impressive.
Well, the sidearm throw that Baker threw was back to his old self, man. So it's just good to see them 2-0. His QBR rating is unreal. So great start to the year, man.
And another guy that, honestly, if you look at most consistent Sooners in the NFL in the last, 5 years, Mark Andrews has to be up there, guys. Mark Andrews' NFL career as a tight end is increasingly becoming better and better, and one for what Sooner fans could say is maybe one of the best pros that the Sooners have had in a long time as far as consistency. Scores another TD today. So, man, look at the guys that were on that team together from Sooner Nation. There's several more we can talk about right now, guys.
Yeah, and, a guy that was, I think, and I was one of them when he was at OU, I kind of was like, sometimes he would get beat a lot, but he made the big plays, and he's making big plays in the NFL. It's Trey Brown. Trey Brown, pick 6 today. How many times at OU did he make kind of like the close off the game? You know what I mean? He did it many times against Texas. He makes the big plays, but what he's doing in the NFL is he's being a lot more consistent, I think, than he was at OU. And it's a little different because, at OU, they didn't have the pass rush to really – he was guarding guys for literally 6 to 10 seconds. So he's making a real good career for himself in the NFL.
Yeah, and he's one that I expect nothing less from it. He was really good at OU for the cards he was dealt, like you mentioned, the pass rush, the coverage situations that you're being put into. I mean, at times it was literally 15 seconds of coverage. NFL, obviously, that's not going to be the case. He was he even drafted? I think it was. If he was, it was very late, 6th, 7th round, maybe undrafted. But he's had quite a good career, and he's only second year in the NFL, third year maybe with
At least third.
yeah,
Third year, I think.
Okay, third with the Seahawks. He's had a lot of created a lot of turnovers, and then a pick six today that was massive for them.
Yeah, two plays stand out as let's relive something here, Sooner fans. Two plays that really stand on Trey Brown as a safety in the Big 12 championship game, right? And then the other one is when he chased down the Baylor guy, and honestly, was the reason that OU was able to, complete that comeback was because of that play and his hustle. So he's going to get it done because of his hustle, his work ethic, and he's uber talented. And guys, he's from the 918. That's another cool thing about Trey Brown.
I believe on that chase down play, the OU Sports Science Department, I believe they showed it a few weeks ago, opening week against Arkansas State. I think that was the fastest recorded run in OU history since they've been able to track that. He topped, I believe it was 26 miles per hour on that chase down. It was unreal.
Yeah. Speaking of fast, Hollywood Brown, speedster, got a tutty today there at Arizona. Did they end up winning that game? I don't even remember. Did they end up winning? Man, they're struggling, man. They need some help, but glad to see him get in the end zone.
A 20-point lead, and they
ended up blowing it. Golly.
Yeah. Hollywood really needs Kyler Murray back. Once Kyler Murray comes back, that connection that we all loved in Norman will be very prevalent again. Hollywood's done pretty well for Josh Dobbs being the quarterback. He had the short touchdown today. But Kyler starts to heal up in Arizona. Expect that deep ball to pick up between the two of them.
Yeah, and another guy who's going to continue to put up big numbers, guys, is CeeDee Lamb with the Cowboys. He looks phenomenal. Has already really stapled himself there as wide receiver one and has done great things since he's been a Cowboy. And I don't know what the ceiling is for CD, guys, but to me, it's definitely a Pro Bowl, consistently Pro Bowl guy, a guy that's going to put up huge numbers. And as a Cowboy fan, selfishly, I hope a guy that helps lead them to the Super Bowl. But, man, great things again from CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, yeah. He's. I think when he was at OU, people just knew he was physically gifted and just very talented. You remember the play he made that was out of bounds, the one-handed play that was just sick. So he makes those type catches, but he's a physical guy in the NFL, so he's going to be in there a long time. And then today, first touchdown of his career, Marvin Mims, the long bomb.
Deep ball, Marvin Mims from Russell Wilson, Broncos, fell apart. They blew a lead like the Cardinals. I think they were up by 21 or 21-3, something like that. But Marvin Mims, he was impressive all offseason for the Broncos, really trying to make his way into a very solid wide receiver room. Today, there was multiple guys catching touchdown passes for them, including that it was a 60-yard touchdown pass for Marvin Mims.
Yeah, something like that. And we're sitting there naming these guys. My mind's just going back as a memory to some of these OU games. And, hey, it's very just disappointing that they didn't win a natty. You were sitting there naming guys that were all within about a 3 or 4 year span. They had so many goods, and we haven't even mentioned Mixon, Pirine, Creed Humphrey, Perkins. They got guys all over the NFL, guys that were starters on those teams.
Yeah, but hey, now Mixon did almost have 100 all-purpose yards today, receiving and running. So another pretty good game, I would say, for Mixon. But the commonality of all these guys is they're on the offensive side.
Well,
I
Trey
mean,
Brown, but yeah.
now Trey Brown's defensive, Perkins is defensive, and there's some guys that are in the league on defense that are doing some things. But hey, another guy that is back in the league is Austin Seibert, guys, back in kicking. So obviously, the Sooners are present in the NFL. This isn't a news flash, but here at the Sooner Surge, we're here to cover all OU content, and this is something we'll do each week just to talk about and break down some of the former Sooners and what they're doing on Sundays. And right now, like we said, Ramondre Stevenson doing pretty well there in New England. So don't forget to click subscribe, turn on your notifications. We're here to cover all things OU sports. Till next time, guys. Boomer.
Boomer.